Imagine having acne for half of your life, where every moment since the age you turned 13, you've just had constant acne that never went away even after puberty, and you just kind of dealt with it. Trying remedy after remedy, skincare routine after skincare routine, and the end result's the same. You still get new spots all the time. Now imagine you're in your mid-20s and you're one of the few people in your social circle that still gets acne. It just makes you feel embarrassed, and that social stigma just gets worse as you age. Now imagine being 30 and you're the only person in your social circle who's still getting acne. But what if I told you that there was such a thing as a cure for acne, or at least the closest thing that we have to a cure today? That's where Accutane comes in. Okay, so I know Accutane is a brand and the actual ingredient used is isotretinoin, and here in Canada the brand I'm taking is Epirus, but I'm just going to keep calling it Accutane for the sake of simplicity and recognizability, because you probably don't even know what Epirus is, and I don't want to keep saying the word isotretinoin every time, so just go with it. Acne. God damn, man, oh god damn, I hate acne. It has been my #1 enemy for so long now, and you guys have no idea how excited I was to know that I was able to start Accutane, and even the first pill, I was so excited. Just picked up my first capsule, as you can see. I'm not pregnant, which is pretty good. 40 milligrams per day. Day 1, it is October 17th. Currently not the worst. I mean, this lighting kind of sucks, but as you can see, forehead, yeah, like it's really bumpy if I get really close. And this is like kind of good too. Like, get it all around here, on the foreheads, around the temples too. Like you can actually see the bumps, and this has been a long time coming. See how my skin looks in 6 months. But before starting, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. I think if I tell you with my personal struggles with acne growing up, then it might justify the choice to go on Accutane even more. Because this has been an issue for as long as I can remember. And man, if you've been dealing with acne your whole life and it just never goes away or even gets worse, you have no idea how much that just kills your confidence. So let's talk about growing up and always having acne. I started going through puberty like everyone else, and of course, a lot of people just started getting acne. And the thing is, it was really normal when you're like 13 or 14. Because everyone's got it from hormones. I didn't really think much of it, right? Because everyone's got it, so it's just a normal part of growing up. No one really points it out either. And even though I didn't really have it bad, I mean, I'm going to show you some pictures of me when I was in high school. Like, yeah, I had some spots here and there, but that's the reason why I never went and just saw a doctor about it, because it just wasn't bad enough. You know when you have an issue and it's just not bad enough to go to a doctor, but you kind of put it off, and it's not good. Don't do that. If you have a problem, go see some professional about it. But yeah, that's why I never took action until now. I thought it would just go away like everyone else when you got older. And as I got older, it just started getting worse. And it just made me feel worse, because your physical appearance really matters, especially in your mid-20s, or I don't know, I would say from your teenage years to your 20s, your appearance matters more than you like to admit. I mean, I know we don't like to say that appearance means everything, but appearance kind of does. As shitty as it is, you know, your appearance does actually change the way people look at you and treat you, so may as well take care of yourself. Also, just makes yourself feel better when you feel good, right? And you look good. And when you get older, there's almost like that social pressure to have better skin, because you're supposed to have figured it out by then as you get older. And I know that everyone's experiences might be different, so maybe this doesn't make any sense to you. I'm just saying how I felt when I was growing up. But god damn, did it kill my confidence in so many social situations. There have been times in the past where I broke out so bad, I didn't even leave my house. I have canceled events because my face looks so bad. So I just didn't leave the house. I just made an excuse and didn't go. I mean, in hindsight, it's stupid as shit. I mean, I should have just went, and nobody would have remembered my breakout if I went, you know, like I know now. But some of the breakouts I had in the past, man, it just, even just looking back at some of these pictures as I'm editing, man, I've come a long way. I mean, you can see I'm looking really good. It's only been 1 month and I'll have better pictures. Like, it's, you know, it's not perfect, but it's looking a lot better. The lighting is, it's kind of making me look better than it actually is, but yeah. But I mean, speaking of videos, acne has also made making YouTube videos harder. My face is on camera in almost all of my videos, but if you've been an OG fan, then you would know that I didn't really record with my face that often, or I put it in a weird angle so you couldn't see my spots, or maybe the lighting was really bad so you couldn't really see much. But I just did a lot of voiceovers back then because I was probably having a breakout. Plain and simple. Sometimes I just hated how my face looked, so I didn't put it on camera. There really wasn't any other reason. Now you're probably also thinking, Evan, well, I'm looking at your face right now. It looks really good. What are you talking about? Well, guess what? If it looked bad, I just didn't put my face on camera. I only record when I think my face looks good. That's okay. I just exposed myself. That's like a little secret about me. I don't record unless my face looks good. That's actually why sometimes I take a while to make a video. Yeah, I know, I'm saying out loud, that's really stupid, but anyways, it's bad, man. Honestly, that's definitely not healthy, but I've been working on it, so you know what? As my face gets better and I'm kind of dealing with these things, I'm journaling about it, it's getting better. And of course, Accutane, it works, man. Like, it really does work. I think another last thing I want to point out in my journey getting up to Accutane and, you know, leading up to this moment is when I became aware of it, I started doing new skincare routines. And the thing is, if you've ever tried a skincare routine, you know you will never get it right on the first try. And if you got it right on the first try, you. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. If you got it right on the first try, you know what? You're lucky as shit. Enjoy that. Be happy. But you know that shit just does not come easy. I wasted so much money on products that I ended up throwing away, and those products either didn't do anything, they dried my skin out, or they just made my face look worse. They made me break out more. Dude, skincare is wild, bro. But yeah, my current routine is much simpler. I mean, it's just like a moisturizer and a cleanser, and that's good enough. I actually found that removing things made my face look better, but I had to kind of change my routine up, and you know what? Maybe I'll make a whole other video about that later because, well, I'll talk about this in the side effects section, but your skin changes when you're on this medication. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video on that though. I think that'd be a good video. Also, if you're wondering, it's actually day 20 today, so this video is shot in the past. I'm gonna record the journey and the side effects section later when it's been 30 days so I can show you all of my side effects. So I'll see you in about a week and a half. Too far. It's been 30 days now. Let's talk about the side effects. So now that you've heard my struggles in the past, let's talk about the journey moving forward and what the last 30 days have looked like for me. All right, so what a busy day it's been, but basically I just got my blood work done. You can actually see I got the, but yeah, the experience has been pretty smooth. I mean, this morning I had an appointment with my dermatologist. He gave me the referral for the blood work and he's like, yeah, you can have Accutane, go for it. And then, yeah, I just got the blood work. Took about an hour of waiting and here we are. Now I'm just gonna wait for the blood work results and fingers crossed. As of right now, as you can see, we got a few pimples, which not happy about, but hey, at least we're gonna get some treatment soon. All right, well, it is official. I just got off the call with my dermatologist and he said, you are good. My blood test came back nice and clean. All the levels are looking good. And yeah, I can go to my pharmacy right after work right now. I mean, I'm just finishing up, but after I'm done work, I'm going to go and pick up the first prescription. So first, let's talk about the dose. I weigh about 160 pounds, but I'm going to round it up to 165 so I can call it 75 kg because typically the dosage is based on kilograms. Sorry, Americans. It's just what it is. So a typical dose starts around 0.5 times your body weight in kilograms. So for me, that'd be 37.5 milligrams, but that doesn't exist. So they rounded it up to 40 milligrams. And that was my starting dose. I took 40 milligrams every single day. I already have a huge supplement stack full of vitamins that I take every single day. So putting in another pill is like a drop in the bucket for me.
And some vitamins to raise my vitality, man.
All right, so now let's talk about the side effects because you guys are probably really interested in how the first month has been. And for anybody who's taken Accutane or has done any research on it, you know the first month is typically the worst month. This is a tough drug and it has a lot of side effects. I'll try and list them down in the order that I remember them and also the order that they appear. But first up, we have dryness. This first started coming within a week or two, but you really notice it in the lips and the nose. You may or may not have noticed that my lips look extra shiny on camera. I'm basically smearing these bastards lip balm every single hour just to keep them from cracking. They haven't cracked at all, thankfully, but they're definitely a lot drier than they used to be. Dryness is the #1 side effect reported, and it's pretty much the one that everybody will feel, and it dries you out everywhere. I'll talk about that in a later side effect, but next I want to talk about skin flushing. So another thing you may have noticed is my cheeks, I mean, they're actually not too bad right now, but they're warm. They flush really easy. And they get really warm really easy, like warm to the touch, especially on my ears too. Like my ears and my cheeks and even my nose, and sometimes even just the T-zone just gets bright red. And again, I'll have some pictures on screen so you know what I mean, but yeah, I've always been like a warm person and like I've always had a little bit of like rosy cheeks, like there's nothing new, but if you have rosacea or anything along those lines where you just have like natural flushing, it will get worse. Or I don't know, I can't say it will, but there's a good chance it will get worse. I know for me it did get worse. Anyways, it's not like a horrible side effect. I mean, it's just something I've noticed, especially when I flush really bad. My head feels really hot. It's a little uncomfortable, but I talked to my derm and he said that it will go away when the treatment ends. So let's just hope it does go away. And again, it's not the worst side effect. I just thought it was worth pointing out, but it can make me look kind of funny at times. I have gotten comments of people saying, yo, you look really hot. Are you okay? Like your cheeks are really red. Do you have like a fever? You know, I just gotta tell them it's Accutane. You know, that's just what it does. And then next up, we have dryness part 2. This started coming in later, and let's talk about that dry nose that I mentioned because you're gonna have a lot of dryness, and when you have dryness in your nose, you tend to bleed a lot. I haven't had a nosebleed in a while actually, but I have noticed that if you just put some Vaseline or some Aquaphor, anything that's like kind of jelly-like in your nose, I know it sounds weird, but you do that once a day, it kind of moisturizes your nostrils and you don't bleed as much. I mean, I haven't had a nosebleed in probably like 2 weeks, which is good, but yeah, nosebleeds, they'll happen if it gets dry enough. So after a couple weeks, it's been pretty smooth, but then on day 18, I noticed dandruff. I have never had dandruff in my life, and it's just something I've never had to deal with. But as I mentioned earlier, you're dry. And you know what happens when you're dry? Your scalp gets dry too. It starts getting itchy because, well, that's just what happens when it gets dry. And I noticed I was scratching and some flakes came out. I know it sounds really gross. And yeah, I've never had to deal with dandruff before until now. So it's actually a pretty simple fix, which is good too, is that I used to wash my hair every single day with shampoo. And I mean, that's pretty drying in it, but because I was so oily to begin with, I mean, I wasn't someone who started with dry skin. I started with oily skin, but I had to stop washing every single day with shampoo because if I did, I just got drier. So I went from washing my hair every single day in the shower with shampoo to washing it maybe once or twice a week now. And like, it still is fine. Like my hair feels the same as before, I just have to wash it less. So hey, I save on shampoo too. Just throwing some Head and Shoulders from time to time, like maybe once a week, and yeah, the dandruff went away. Luckily, all my side effects have remedies. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. That's the whole point of me making this section of the video, is if you're planning on taking this drug and you're worried about some of these side effects, there are temporary solutions until your treatment is finished. That's the hope I'm trying to give you. And now let's fast forward to about 3 weeks in, and I noticed my skin is a lot less greasier than it used to be. As I mentioned earlier, I was someone who had greasy skin going into this treatment, and I used to use these little blotting papers before I would even press record on the camera, and I was able to like saturate one of these little papers. You probably know what I'm talking about. I'll put a picture on screen like right here what a blotting paper is, but basically you just kind of like blot the oil away, and then it's a temporary fix, probably not good for your skin, I'll be honest. And I was shocked at around 3 weeks in, because usually I could saturate one of these papers with oil, and I went to go try it like a few days ago, and I couldn't even get any oil to stick on the sheet. My skin went from really greasy to just dry. I don't get oily anymore. As someone who's had oily skin their whole life, it's kind of a welcome change. I have heard that this is a short-term effect that will slowly come back once I finish the treatment, but for the time being, I like this. I think this is one of my favorite side effects. I hate looking greasy. And then lastly, approaching day 30, I noticed that my skin was just getting more and more dry. Like I'm talking, I could peel like skin off my nose, even my ears. The earlobes would get really dry. Like I'd basically be flaking in spots I have never flaked before. Luckily, again, it's an easy counter. I just had to pick up a heavier moisturizer, and I also started slugging at night. And for anybody who's not too into skincare, slugging is basically where you just like slather it in Vaseline or something like petroleum based before you go to bed, and it just locks in the moisture. And
there's good reason for my glistening skin.
Since I've been doing that, I haven't been flaking anymore. It's also a pain in the ass, and it's kind of a double whammy because it's winter right now. So anytime I leave the house, this dryness just settles in. Like on days I don't leave my home, it's fine. But I mean, I do things still. I'm not just gonna stay at home all day. So every time I go outside, I just gotta be careful, put a little more moisturizer than usual, and it's all good. Okay, so though these side effects are not the worst in the world, it's only month 1, and I've heard that month 2 can get pretty wild at times. So I guess we'll just have to see how that goes. But I've also been told that month 1 was the worst by my dermatologist, so let's see who's lying here. I've also been blessed that I didn't have that dreaded purge, or at least it's very delayed, where usually your skin will get worse before it gets better. Now this is actually pretty common, but you know, I still get some breakout. I'm not perfect. Like, yeah, I got one on my cheek right here. I think there's, yeah, one right here. Like, I still get acne, especially like on the sides here. I'm not cured. I mean, I think today is like day 32 as of recording this. Okay, editing Evan here, and this is kind of meta because you're gonna see me recording the video which you're currently watching. But you know what? I think it's good to point this out because it is currently day like 25, and you know what? It's not all sunshine and rainbows, like I mentioned earlier. I actually am still getting some pretty nasty ones, especially on my forehead. I still get some here on the sides. I'll be honest, it is clearing up and it's not lasting as long. Like if I get one, it definitely, the whole process is faster. Maybe let's say like it takes a people like 5 days to go over. Now it takes maybe like 2 days. So you know what? It's working. It's like I'm having lower highs and higher highs, if that makes sense. It's like every time I break out, it's a little less severe than what it used to be. And every time it clears up, it looks even better. And it's only been like 3.5 weeks or something. I still have a long time to go. So you know what? I am just staying the course and of course, Trust the process. So yes, I still get new ones, but they're definitely going away way faster than they used to. Another thing is usually when I ate something greasy, I would break out pretty damn bad. But now when I eat something greasy, like I'm drinking bubble teas and I'm eating like a few slices of pizza in a party or something, the breakout I get is nowhere near as bad. Like I would be like, my forehead would be covered in little red dots or like, you know, my cheeks. Now I get like maybe 3. Like it's way better and they heal faster. Now, obviously your mileage may vary. And one thing to point out is that this drug affects everyone completely different. Like I've looked at countless posts of people's experiences with this drug and it's different every single time. Some people say, oh yeah, I cleared up after month 6, or like it didn't even work for me, or I cleared up in the first 2 weeks. Like it's all over the place. So I just don't want you to look at this video and think, oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna get. No, maybe if you're lucky, I don't know, like it's hard to tell. All right, it is time. Today is day 30, which is this guy right here. And yeah, that's gonna be pretty sick. Oh, there it is. Down the hatch. Day 30. Okay, so now not only has this drug been a miracle for my skin, it's been a miracle for my mental health too. Being able to leave my house and not having to worry about my skin as much has made me just more confident. It's made me feel more like alive. However, I feel like I need to add a little disclaimer here because Accutane is some serious shit and it should not be taken lightly. Talk to your doctor or your dermatologist before trying this drug out because, well, one, usually you need a prescription. You can't just go to a drugstore and get it. And they'll also determine if it's a right choice for you because this stuff does not come without its side effects and usually it's a last resort for trying to clear acne. Keep in mind, I have been on this journey to try and clear my face for well over 2 years now at this point, and I think at this point I've exhausted everything. But if you've been struggling with acne for a long time, it's honestly worth a shot talking to a professional, especially if you're older, maybe in your earlier mid-20s, because if you're a teenager, maybe it's hormonal, but if you're 24 like me, it's probably going to stick with you for life, so may as well try and find a cure. Alright, well this video is pretty damn long now, and I think I'll make a follow-up on my side effects depending on how this treatment goes, maybe in like a month or 2, but I would like to do some follow-up videos in case you're curious, and I think you guys would appreciate it. But I do hope that this video was informative, and it's been a long time coming. I've been looking forward to making this video for a very long time, and it's been an idea in my idea log, but I just had to wait until I started the drug, and I'm so glad I was able to make it and just share my experience with you guys. Anyways, I hope I see you in the next one because this is going to be a crazy journey. Take care and have a great day, fellas.